Today we're going to capture video from a videotape that we shot on a camcorder. I'm going to find Final Cut Express and open it. I'm going to create a new project. First I need to capture the video. Make sure that your FireWire is connected to both the camera and the computer. And then you're going to go to File, Capture. Screen. Here you can title the reel. You can give it a description if you want to. Any other notes that you need. This essentially is the controls for the camera. So here I can rewind the tape a little bit. And I can hit play. Once you know what you want to capture, you hit capture now.
Taylor Power. I'm from Shelton, Nebraska, and I'm just studying between majoring in civil engineering and architecture.
Once you're done recording or capturing, hit escape. This will stop the tape. That little bit of footage that you just captured will now appear up here in the browser. From there you can drag it down into the timeline. And you can drag this back and forth and hear and see what you just recorded. Once you've captured all the footage that you want off of a tape, it's now digitized. And you can close this window. What you see in this window is what is in this timeline, both the audio and the video. If you select the video, you see you get a bounding box here. And this gives you the option to expand or contract the video. In this case, I'm going to expand because I don't need all that extra space. I also might want to make some adjustments to this clip. When it's highlighted, you can double click on it and it will appear up here. This is where all of your filters and motions can take place. So, for instance, I may want to go up to effects here, video filters, and I may want to color correct using the RGB, red, green, and blue balance. And it appears that nothing happens, but if you click back up here on filters, you're going to see that now I have my RGB balance, and I can uncheck it or check it if I want to. I think the highlights are a little bit maybe greenish. There's a little bit of reflective color. And so I think I'm going to take a little bit of green away. And notice that I made the highlights in his face a little bit less green. I'm also going to do that for the midtones. And maybe also I'll take a little bit of red out of the highlights there so he's not so pink. But now there's a visual contrast between him and the background. The background's green and he has that normal flesh tone that he would have had. From this point, you can make any other adjustments if I want to apply other effects such as brightness and contrast, any other color corrections. You can do that here, and it adds them to these filters. At this point, I can key out the background. Chroma Keyer has its own tab, and you can select on it to get a visual. I can expand these sliders here to tell it to take more or less of a particular color out of the background. In this case, we want all the green out of there. You can also play with the saturation sliders and the luminosity. This will help hopefully eliminate most of the green that's back there. Lastly, you can move the edge thin and softening to get rid of any of those hard edges that you'll see. You can even enhance it. If you find that you want to do fine tuning, you can grab the bottom of these sliders here and expand or contract the amount of luma or saturation or color that you're picking up in your chroma key. At this point, you might want to add an image underneath yourself. You can click on and drag up your clip here that you've shot. Go to File, Import Files, and search around on your computer for the image you'd like to put in the background. Notice that when I click on it, or I click on the clip of Taylor, I get a large bounding box. And if I click on the Vibe JPEG that I've just dragged underneath Taylor, it's behind him. I can make it bigger or smaller if I want to. I can also add multiple images behind him just by dragging up. You see you have a slider here in the timeline window to allow you to stack multiple images. You can see when I move my timeline here, that other image appears. I think that looks pretty good. If you want to, notice how the length of this JPEG is shorter in time than the entire clip and will disappear at some point. I can come back here and drag it out, in most cases, to the end. Click and drag the timeline to see how it looks. And notice at the very end here we get a little bit of distortion. Let's go back and click on this Taylor clip and double click on it. And we can see here that maybe we need to do a little bit of adjusting. You can tear off the chroma key here, click on video, and you can see where the distortion has taken place. Maybe we need to get a little bit more color out of the background. I'm going to go to Sequence, Render, All, Both. You can now watch the video. Whenever there is no red up here above the timeline, that means that everything has been rendered. I can hit the space bar and watch it.
I'm Taylor Power. I'm from Shelton, Nebraska, and I'm deciding between majoring